Will John Wick come back with a bang the upcoming season? John Wick 5 got a nod in May 2023, but nearly a year later, we're still in the dark about whether it's really happening. What were your thoughts on the last season? Chad Stahelski, the mastermind behind all 4 John Wick flicks, wasn't so sure about a 5th one when asked in July 2023, but by October 2023, he kind of warmed up to the idea, telling Inverse he's cool with it, as long as it's not just a cash grab.
Your wife can hear you?
No.
Then why bother?
Maybe I'm wrong.
You're going to die.
Maybe not.
Stahelski spilled the beans that they've got loads of ideas buzzing around for not just John Wick 5, but also 6, 7, 8, and even 9. However, they haven't nailed down the story yet. Now, the way Chapter 4 wrapped up might be why they're keeping us in suspense about the 5th movie. Fans everywhere are crossing their fingers, hoping Stahelski lands on a killer idea cause they're not ready to bid farewell to John Wick just yet. So, as of now, it's still up in the air whether we'll see John Wick 5 on a big screen, but fans are keeping their ears to the ground for any updates. We'll just have to wait and see what unfolds next in John Wick's wild world. When can we expect John Wick 5? John Wick 5 is in development, but as of April 2024, there is no official release date. The next John Wick movie we will see is the spin-off called Ballerina, starring Ana de Armas. It happened between Chapter 3 and 4 of the John Wick timeline. It was supposed to come out in June this year but got delayed to June 6, 2025. Chad Stahelski isn't directing Ballerina, but he is helping director Len Wiseman with some action scenes. If you need your John Wick fix now, you can watch The Continental. It's available on Prime Video in the UK and Peacock in the US, but don't expect to see Keanu Reeves in it. We will probably have to wait until at least 2025 or even later for John Wick 5 since it doesn't have any filming date yet.
A new day is dawning. New ideas, new rules, new management.
Failure to meet at sunrise will result in execution.
Is Keanu Reeves going to be in John Wick 5? Even though Chapter 5 ended a certain way, it's hard to think of a John Wick movie without Keanu Reeves, so he will probably be back. The movie is in development but no official cast members have been confirmed yet. We can guess who might return based on the end of Chapter 4. Ian McShane will likely come back as Winston, the owner of the Continental, since he was restored to his status by the end of the 4th movie. Lawrence Fishburne will probably return as the Burger King too. Lance Reddick, who played Charon, won't be back since he passed away and his character was killed in the 4th movie. However, he will appear one last time as Charon in the spin-off Ballerina. Other possible returns include Donnie Yen as Kane, depending on if he survives the attack by Akira, played by Rina Sawayama, as shown in the post-credits scene of Chapter 4. Shamir Anderson's character, Tracker, could also return. Ana de Armas' character Rooney might appear in the main movie if she survives her spin-off movie.
All I can tell you is we made this feast of a movie with all of our hearts and love and passion, and hopefully people will enjoy it. You know, the action, the humor.
How does John Wick 4 set up a 5th movie? At the end of Chapter 4, it seems like John Wick is dead. After his duel with Kane, played by Donnie Yen, Wick looks like he dies from his injury after telling Winston, played by Ian McShane, to take him home. We then see Winston in the Burger King, played by Lawrence Fishburne, at Wick's grave, where he is buried next to his wife. However, Wick's body is never shown, although he does collapse after the duel. He went through a lot that night and morning, so maybe he was just very tired. It's possible that Winston helped him take his dad to be free from the high table. Stahelski mentioned they filmed a different ending where John Wick survives, which might explain why his dog looks around in the final scene, possibly at Wick. Whether Wick faces that or not depends on if Keanu Reeves and Stahelski wants to return for another movie. Stahelski has said the ending of Chapter 4 is ambiguous, allowing for Wick's return. Reeves told EW that he wouldn't do another John Wick movie without Chad Stahelski. He said it felt right for John Wick to find peace, but he didn't completely rule out a return. In May 2022, Stahelski told Collider that the 4th movie is a good conclusion to the emotional story. This means if there isn't a 5th movie, the story ends with Wick's death. However, if the 5th movie happens, it might be a soft reboot with a new story that moves away from the high table, the Continental, and other familiar elements. Chapter 4 introduced new characters like Akira and the Tracker. If their stories continue, it might be a spin-off or a secondary character in a 5th movie, rather than as main characters.
I want you to find your peace, but the good death only comes after a good life.
Any John Wick 5 footage yet? Unfortunately, no footage is available yet because filming hasn't started on John Wick 5, so you'll have to wait a while to see any trailers or clips. John Wick Chapter 4 is available to watch on Prime Video in the UK. John Wick 5 does not yet have a release date. Back in 1989, when Keanu Reeves first gained attention in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, No one would have guessed one day that heartthrob with floppy hair will be the deadly assassins in a hugely successful film series. But a lot has changed in 30 years. His roles in Speed and The Matrix started his transformation into an action hero, and his debut as John Wick in 2014 solidified it. It all started with a puppy.
But even legends must fight to rise again. And I will not rest until my enemies know that the boogeyman never sleeps.
In 2014, retired hitman John Wick was pulled back into a violent world he left behind after some Russian mobsters stole his Ford Mustang and killed his pet beagle, a gift from his late wife. John Wick went on a relentless revenge spree. Directed by Chad Stahelski, the movie follows Wick as he takes on the crime family, led by the ruthless Viggo Tessera, played by Michael Nyqvist. The action moves through chop shops, nightclubs, and a gangster-filled Continental Hotel, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. Chapter 2 takes us back into the New York underground. Santino D'Antonio, played by Ricardo Scamarcio, a powerful crime boss, orders John Wick to carry out a brutal assassination as payback for an old favor. Wick completes the assassination, but then Santino frames him for murder and puts a $7 million bounty on his head. When Wick breaks the underground's golden rule by spilling blood inside a Continental Hotel, the bounty is doubled. After breaking the rule at the Continental Hotel, John Wick is cut off by the crime world's high table. Now, there's a $14 million bounty on his head, and he's being hunted by assassins from around the world, including his old ally Sophia, played by Hal Berry, and the fearsome Zero, played by Mark Dacascos. Director Chad Stahelski called the third installment their "fuck you everyone else" in the action genre. With scenes featuring attack dogs, night fights, and battles on horseback, he definitely delivered on that promise. Continuing from the Parabellum ending when Wick made a deal to bring down the 12 heads of the high table's crime syndicate. The fourth installment has the stylish assassin offered by a chance or maybe a dangerous mission when he's dared to confront the table's ruthless Marquis de Gramont in a final showdown. This kind of action is best enjoyed in the biggest screen possible. Karlstad's screenplay was originally titled Scorn and features a character named John Wick. However, Keanu Reeves was so enthusiastic about his role that he kept telling people he was working on a movie called John Wick. He did so often that they decided to rename the movie to John Wick instead of The Scorn. The director enhanced the idea of John Wick as an urban legend, a figure spoken of with respect and fear by other criminals and assassins. They portrayed Wick as a boogeyman-type figure, which was a concept they introduced. This approach was part of why Keanu Reeves was decided to have them involved in the project. John Wick is now closely associated with the character, even though it isn't the most exciting name on paper. Karlstad didn't create it from scratch. Instead, it was a homage to his grandfather, who shared the same name. Fortunately, his grandfather was flattered and particularly enjoyed having his name used for a hitman character. John Wick was filmed in New York City, using many of its locations. One notable spot is the Delmonico's building at 2 South William Street in Manhattan, which served as the exterior of the Continental. The interior, however, is quite different from what you see in the movie. Curious to learn more about the 5th installment of the popular saga? Follow us to watch such exciting content. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Until next time, see you all.